Hi friends, welcome back to my channel where today I used the Flair palette from Beauté to create this eyeshadow look. There were a couple shades in here that I really wanted to play with, and then I brought in another shade to tie into my shirt, and I think the result is quite pretty. If you want to see how I did it, don't go anywhere. If you're new here, hello, my name is Rachel. I'm a homeschooling stay-at-home mom. I love to play with colorful eyeshadow, and I also upload about 3 or 4 videos a week, all eyeshadow related content. So if you like what you see and you want to see lots more, I hope you'll consider liking and subscribing. Without further ado, let's get going. Alright, I want to play with the Flair palette today. This is one of my favorite palettes. I know it's really, I don't know, I find it so inspiring. Every time I look at it, I get all these ideas. And today I want to play with this trio here. I definitely want to use this as a transition color and then this one to deepen it. But I kind of want to play with this one, and I kind of want to play with this one, and I definitely want to play with this one. So I don't have a firm plan. I'm just going to start with the transition color and go from there. I've already primed my eyes. I used the Glam Light Icing Primer in the shade White Frosting. And I'm going to start with a medium-sized blending brush in the shade Cider. I kind of felt like doing something a little bit more autumnal today. A little bit more warm-toned, fall feeling. I don't know. This is a very autumnal palette. And at the time that you guys are watching this video, I'm already on vacation, which means that I have successfully pre-filmed at least something so that there's less of a gap when I go out of town. I wasn't sure for a while because I had done some pre-filming and then I wasn't feeling very well and didn't film for over a week. So that kind of cut into what I had already filmed and scheduled. But now I'm back. I am filming this video towards the end of July, but I have videos made, uploaded, and scheduled all the way out till the middle of August. So this video is going live at a time when I am traveling and visiting with family. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to cover the entire time that I'm away, but I'm a little proud of myself that I was able to get some extra videos done so that you guys have less of a break. So I will let you know whenever I film my very last video before I physically leave. I'll let you know and be like, all right guys, I'll be gone for a few more days or something before I come back and resume my schedule. So go me. I got some pre-filming in. All right, I finally decided I want to use the more green toned instead of the more blue toned because the blue is actually the blue I want to use is actually a teal. It's called Forest Pine and it's very close to my shirt color, and I want to be a little bit different from that. So I'm going to choose the shade Moss with a small blending brush, dipping into Moss, and I'm going to use this on the outer corner area. I'm going to deepen it further, but I want this to be placed down in this outer corner of the lid. I really like this green tone with the mustardy yellow. They're both so earthy and grounded, and they look really beautiful together. Sorry, I always turn away, I'm sorry. They look really beautiful together. I'm loving this green tone. I think it's aptly named Moss. It does remind me of moss. You know, sometimes a name of the shadow is like, come on, where did that come from? But these shadows I think are named quite well. So I'm putting this in the whole outer corner. You can see I'm bringing it about halfway onto the lid because I am going to deepen it further. So I want this to show up underneath the deepening shade. So I'm bringing it further in as opposed to using this as the deepening shade and keeping it on the outer third. Now I'll take the same brush. I'm going to go into Acorn. This is, honestly, a lot of the shades in this palette are mid to dark toned. There are very few shades in this palette that are very light toned, and there are very few that are super dark as well. There's not like a black, you know. Most of these darker shades are mid-tone darks, you know? So I don't know how much this is going to deepen as far as adding in a lot more depth contrast, if that makes sense. What it's just doing is it's deepening by adding in color contrast. I'm putting a dark brown on top of a dark green. Does that make sense? I'm putting this in a smaller area. This is going on the outer third and just adding in a new layer, really, of color and warmth. And a little bit of depth. It does add a little bit of depth because it's a different color, but it's not adding a lot of contrast between the dark medium toned green and the dark medium toned brown. My daughter pointed out that this look is much more warm toned than my shirt and doesn't match super well. In fact, right now it's looking kind of murky. It's looking like a look that I did recently using the Hella palette. I was wearing like a dark brownish green sort of shirt, and I did a lot of those kinds of tones, and that's what this is looking like right now. But I'm going to add this acid green, and then on the lower lash line I'm going to throw on that blue that does match my shirt, and I think it'll tie it together. So it's time for this green. It's called Sherbet. It's very similar to the green, like the acid green in the Oceanic palette from Beauté. That one's called Algae, but there's a difference in undertone. Sherbet is more of a yellowy neon. So I'm going to take Sherbet on a small and slightly pinched blending brush And I think this look is going to be all matte. I don't think I'm going to be using any shimmers. So I've got sherbet. I'm going to place this starting at the inner corner. It looks really yellow, especially now that I'm adding it to the yellow transition tone. And I just keep dipping into the pan to get more color because I want to load it up and really build and pack it on. I want some good color payoff. And because it's not a shimmer, I'm not going to try to spray it to get color payoff. It's just a matter of letting it build up on the eye. Now, this is Ace Beauté's old formula. I presume that their new formula works even better. With the old formula, I have a few more issues within the Oceanic palette. In the Oceanic palette, I find that several of the lighter tone colors are just not very opaque between shimmers and mattes. So knowing that and recognizing, okay, this is the old formula and I got it for a deal, I'm not going to complain. It's just a matter of working with the shadow. All right, so that is very different from my shirt, but it's okay. I'm going to take a slightly smaller pinched blending brush, I'm going to drop it on myself. Then I will continue into that shade Sherbet. I want a smaller brush because I'm going to put it on the lower lash line inner corner, so it needs to be a more precise area or more precise application. I'm putting this on the first third, like the inner corner as a sweet little highlight, and then dragging it onto the inner third of the lash line. Well, let's do the inner half actually. And now I'm going to take that teal shade matte, and that's going to tie into my shirt. So I will take a small pencil brush, and I'm going to grab that shade. It's called Forest Pine, and I'm going to start this at the outer corner on the lower lash line. Meet up with the dark mattes out here, and then drag it in towards the sherbet color. Now this is going to look a little bit more on the green side because of all the other yellowy green tones that I've got down already. But it's actually a teal, it's just pulling more to the green side of things, but it ties in nicely with my shirt. And so I'm bringing that in the whole outer half of the lower lash line, and then where we meet sherbet, I'm just mixing them together a little bit. And I think I'll take sherbet and put it underneath of that color, so it's not quite as stark. There, so now that ties into the shirt. Do you see that? So I've chosen two different creme gel liners from ColourPop for my waterline. On the outer corner, I'm going to put a dark green. It's called Canopy. And then on the inner corner, I'm going to put one of my favorites, possibly my favorite eyeliner. It's called Two Can Do It from the Lush Life collection, since discontinued, but actually they're both from Lush Life. Two Can Do It is amazing. It's a metallic marigold color, and it's so beautiful. But I'm going to put Canopy on the outer half. I like to put different colors on the waterline because it's really fun and it's interesting, and it just sort of ties into whatever you've got going on. So here's Canopy on the outer half and the upper lash line as well. Sometimes sometimes tight lining the upper lash line, like right now actually, it makes my eyes water, so I don't often do it, honestly. And I personally haven't noticed a difference. And then this is Two Can Do It, and this is that beautiful marigold. And can you see that in the camera? I hope you can see it. It's absolutely phenomenal. So I'll put this on the inner half. And there you go. I am going to go off camera and finish everything up, do the other side, etc. Then I'll come back to show you how it turns out. So here is how it turned out. On my lips, I'm wearing the shade Showering Sunset from Burt's Bees Tinted Lip Oil. Yes. And I did a little bit of a wing and a little bit of mascara, and that's everything. I think the look is really pretty. It's kind of murky and a little bit neon, but not too neon, you know, it's not like jump in your face neon. And then I really like this lower color that ties into my shirt, because the look outside of that color, it works with my shirt because it's, you know, a green brownish toned look, but it doesn't bring a color in from the outfit. And now throwing this teal shade on the lower lash line really did, and I think it's lovely. I had a lot of fun making this eyeshadow look. I knew what shades I wanted to use, but I didn't in my mind put them together as far as how it would end up, like how the final look would be. And I like it. I think it's pretty. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and clicking on my video. Remember to like and subscribe if you want to see lots more content. And until I see you in my next video, I do hope that you have a lovely day. Bye.